Hello, this is Jonathan Allen from MeetJonathan.com coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada. Today's session is regarding MLM experience and why making mistakes is key to success. The biggest lesson is, from kindergarten to 12th grade, throughout that education period for each of us, we're told that making mistakes is not a good thing. But we intuitively know that making mistakes is part of real life experience. So if you are a perfectionist like me, or at least I used to be, then I'm going to share with you 5 points that should help clear and get you unstuck from being a perfectionist. First, top learners always excel at learning from their mistakes. One great example that I've watched is Ray Higdon. He was pretty much between a rock and a hard place. He was facing foreclosure on multiple real estate properties. His real estate business tanked, and he was making less than poverty, and his then girlfriend, now wife, was helping to pay his utility bills. And what he did was, and this is extremely uncommon and amazing when I found out, he prospected 20 people a day for up to a year straight. His biggest rush was during the first 90 days. No joke, no matter how many no's he got, he would prospect 20 people a day. And by the end of it, and this is very unusual and not normal, he managed to earn up to $40,000 a month in his multi-level marketing opportunity. Not everyone will achieve that. I haven't achieved that. Again, that's an extra, way beyond ordinary outcome, which required a great magnitude of effort on Ray Higdon's part, but good on him for doing it. That's to show what's possible depending on the effort you put in. Which brings me to my next point, that mistakes are not as bad as you think. Again, I'm going to go back to the kindergarten through 12th grade education thing. I mean, every time I made a mistake, and those teachers that weren't realistic had told me that mistakes are not good, but part of being an entrepreneur is I had to unlearn that lesson. And I've realized that even doing something as video, which for me is not very easy to do, I used to end up redoing, rehashing, and micromanaging every step I did to try and be perfect, which was actually too much work. So I decided to lighten up and get better at practicing it. The best thing about mistakes, especially the daily type mistakes, little things like forgetting to write a note, or not drinking water when you should, or even not following up with a prospect who scheduled an appointment with you. Things like that. Even doing chores around the house. Just write them down in your notepad for up to 2 weeks. And if you're a recovering perfectionist, the exercise of writing down your mistakes is just to realize how normal and everyday it is to make mistakes. The lesson is not to be perfect, but to be a little better each day by reviewing and also improving on yourself little by little, the goal being to do better each day going forward than you did the day before yesterday. Here's something. NASA, the National Aerospace and Space Administration, Aeronautical and Space Administration agency, favors people with imperfect records. What they're looking for are people that can solve difficult problems under tight deadlines, extremely tough situations where you have to get to brass tacks, meaning you have to face the situation head on. NASA favors those with a record of solving peculiar, highly demanding mistakes. Someone with a perfect record is probably going to be unreliable enough, if at all, when situations get difficult, when they're trying to look for the perfect answer instead of the best one for the situation at hand. Here's I'll bring a point back of how to unlearn from trying to be perfect. You have to let go of what you were taught in K through 12 education. You have to let go of trying to be perfect with everything you do. Here's something paradoxical. The more you try to be perfect, the more mistakes you actually create because you're micromanaging your actions. On a normal day-to-day basis, it is possible to make many tens, if not hundreds, of mistakes each day. The best thing you could do is to simply write them down. The goal is not to be perfect, just better. For something like house chores, okay, skipping that once in a while is okay as long as you get back to it and take care of it when needed. That way you can keep a clean house, even if you're not the best organized person. Here's something else to consider. If you're part of a team, or you're leading your team, what you could have that team do, especially if you're your network marketing or MLM team, opportunity team, excuse me, get together maybe once a week starting out and share the mistakes you've made, and the goal is to, for each mistake presented, to do a round table, go from person to person. This works in smaller groups, and just sit level with them, then offer to help each other provide a possible solution to solve that mistake, and ideally not repeat it again. That way, you improve each other, but also improve each other's success rate. That way, at the end of the day, each of you knows what to do before talking to your next prospect or following up with your prospect. And here's a fun fact about sales, and without being a sleazy used car salesman. The 8th to 12 contact is where 80% of the sales are made. So if you've been told to follow up only 3 times, let him go, don't. Just be respectful with each follow-up and respect their prospect's time. Sometimes the biggest business builders have come from people that you've been following up for months and kept in contact with. Here's how making mistakes will accelerate your MLM success. The more you put yourself away from being a perfectionist and move into a learning attitude, where you continuously learn and improve every day that you operate your business, and just write maybe 3 of the 5 biggest mistakes in your MLM prospecting process, which you can learn. Here's a side tangent. There's a book called Go Pro by Eric Worre. If you haven't heard of that book, I'd be really surprised considering it's a standard handout to prospects that have been newly sponsored into an opportunity and comes highly recommended by the network marketing industry. In fact, many companies are willing to buy that book. You can look it up on Amazon. The book is titled Go Pro 7 Steps to Becoming a Network Marketing Professional. The interesting part is these skills also work outside of network marketing. So if you want to go elsewhere, the skills you take with you from this book at networkmarketingpro.com, the better you'll do, the better you'll accelerate your business success in another venture, especially when you want to pitch your idea to get funding from banks or alternative funding sources like crowdsourcing. But back on track. As long as you're not trying to be a perfectionist, you will make it in MLM. But granted, it's going to take 5 to 7 years, even to build up your first 6 figures. So if you're going to be in this, be prepared to be in it for the long term. And with this closing remark, if you're watching this from YouTube, be sure to click the link below to learn how to build time freedom leverage in your MLM business. What you'll see is when you click on that link, you'll be taken to a downloadable resource, a short ebook that will show you 4 simple hacks you can use to automate your business up to the scheduling follow-up appointments. That way, if you only have 30 minutes a day to follow up with people, then you can schedule that in your calendar. And I even include the resource I use to schedule appointments in that ebook. It lays out the whole process so you only focus on those that are genuinely interested in what you have as a business opportunity. So that way you're not wasting time with people that aren't clearly interested. That way you can actually work from home full time. And one recommendation I make is to create a Facebook group specifically for paid team members, those that have their auto ship active, whatever, either auto ship for physical product or a subscription, whatever product line your company has. That way you can manage, with the Facebook group, you can manage and scale up training to cover your entire team. That way you're not having to go to each person or be physically limited by both geography and team size. And for today's session, if you're actually watching this from my blog, you can go up to the top right banner where you can get the same resource. Just click the banner, it'll take you to the same page as if you were watching this on YouTube. Take care, and I'll see you on the next episode of Home Biz Talk. Bye.